call on the government to take stock of the state mechanism currently used in the controlling and prevention of dengue, as one more patient succumbed to dengue illness inside the capital. Among the high-profile cases, a sitting minister has also contracted dengue virus, indicating that the scenario could be much worse than what is being reported. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama, and these are the top stories of the hour. The evaluation committee formed by the central bank to monitor cyber attack on the banking system recommends mandatory inbuilt chips in ATM cards. Dengue outbreak spreads its wings. Dengue claims one more life in the capital. Minister for Agriculture and Livestock hospitalized after contracting the virus. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, endorses a 17-point proposal branding the government's 1.5-year stint as disappointing, but silent on intra-party dispute. And Team Nepal suffers a 7-0 humiliating loss against host Kuwait in the first match at the second round of the World Cup qualifiers. The evaluation committee formed by the Nepal Rashtra Bank to study the cyber attack on banking system has recommended all the banks to use inbuilt chips in their ATM cards mandatorily. The committee has also suggested that banks should install mechanisms that discourage unlawful transactions. The committee has also recommended for regular monitoring of the network and system related to ATM cards, along with annual auditing of the related information technologies. Nepal Rashtra Bank has concluded that the use of Chinese language at the ATMs, along with Nepali and English in recent time, has eased the hackers to withdraw deposits. The central bank is making preparations to direct the banking and financial institutions to implement security provisions as suggested by the committee to protect the financial institutions from cyber attacks. According to the report, 35,884,000 rupees have been illegally withdrawn in Nepal and India. The report notes that Chinese hackers had withdrawn deposits from 68 ATM booths of 17 banks using 7 cards between 11 a.m. to 4:35 p.m. last Saturday. A total of just under 19 million rupees was withdrawn from Nepal, while just over 10.5 million was withdrawn from India. Cards of 6 commercial banks of Nepal were used while withdrawing money in India. The total amount withdrawn from India was from 132 ATM booths of 24 banks. However, since other service seekers were also withdrawing funds during the period, the actual amount withdrawn by the hackers is yet to be confirmed. Nepal Electronic Payment System of NEPSI has invited a team of experts from Singapore to probe into the case. Nepal Rashtra Bank had formed the committee chaired by Bambahadur Mishra last Sunday. And moving on, the recent ATM hacking scandal has highlighted about the lapses in our cybersecurity system. A string of similar cases have also indicated about our feeble judicial inquiry mechanism. The Central Bureau of Investigation (CIB) filed cases against 18 international hackers arrested in similar but separate cases in the span of 6 years. However, none of the individuals served time in the prison exceeding over a year. The CIB had filed cases against 4 international hackers back in 2016 for forging ATM cards to withdraw money from ATM machines of banks in Nepal and had demanded a fine of 1.83 million rupees. The High Court pardon had sentenced all 4 individuals for 2 years in prison and slapped a penalty of equal amount. However, following an appeal, the Supreme Court reconsidered and slashed the prison time and the penalty amount as well. The Supreme Court revised and ordered for 781,000 rupees as penalty, citing the amount of money the convicts had withdrawn from various banks was unclear. Their prison time was brought down to 1 year and each individual had to pay 195,000 rupees. Likewise, in another case, the High Court and the Supreme Court sentenced 2 Bulgarians to 5 months in prison with 350,000 rupees fine, while the Bureau had demanded for 442,000 rupees. The courts also gave 5 months prison term in another case with a meager fine of 32,500 rupees. The CIB has so far filed cases against 18 individuals for hacking ATMs and withdrawing up to 20 million rupees. However, none of the perpetrators received a prison sentence of more than a year. In all these cases in the past, the hackers stole the PIN numbers of account holders to withdraw the money. This time, in the incident that came to light on Sunday, the Chinese hackers launched a bigger attack on Nepal's banking sector by taking control of the electronic system of several banks. The CIB has prepared to file cases for banking fraud, cybercrime and organized crime against these individuals. Now, experts have stated the incident suggests that our banking system is at a vulnerable stage, and there is a call for all banks to strengthen their security system and for the government to make legal provisions time relevant. Now, dengue virus contracted through mosquito bites has taken an epidemic form. Around 6,000 patients have contracted the disease, while 4 have lost their lives within a month's time. These are the scenes at the Shukraraj Tropical and Infectious Disease Hospital in Teku. Patients who have contracted dengue are being treated under nets at the hospital. Among 250 patients who reach the hospital every day, the hospital has said that half of them are contracted with dengue. A total of 11 hospital staff, including doctors and nurses, now have also contracted dengue. Based on the data from the second week of May to the 3rd of September, 5,900 patients across the nation have tested positive for the virus. A dengue patient from Sindhupalchok succumbed to his illness in Kathmandu hospital yesterday. Likewise, Agriculture and Livestock Development Minister Chakrapani Khanal, who has also contracted dengue, is undergoing treatment at another Kathmandu-based hospital. A total of 2,476 patients have contracted dengue since 17th of July. The disease, which was first reported in the Tarai, is now causing havoc in the hilly districts as well. Despite the disease taking epidemic proportion, government departments have been charged of lacking proper coordination. And with that, we'll take a short break here. For more news, do stay with us. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, has endorsed a 17-point written proposal concluding that the government's 1.5-year term as disappointing. However, the meeting, which extended around 1 month, did not make any decision on its intra-party dispute. Congress has not been able to form its party departments despite the lapse of 2.5 years since the completion of its general convention. Putting its internal issues on hold, Congress has announced of its second phase of awareness campaign starting 11th of September. The recently concluded Central Committee meeting of Nepali Congress had extended for around 1 month. The meeting was expected to decide on the party's general convention, formation of its departments and its sister organizations that have been plagued with several issues. However, the meeting ended by endorsing the 17-point proposal, in fact, while largely criticizing the government. Nepali Congress could have presented such criticisms, arguments and discussions at the parliament in the capacity of the main opposition. At a time when the party should have prioritized revitalizing its structure, the fiasco is being taken as the main opposition refusing to learn from its drubbing at the general elections. However, Congress spokesperson Bishop Prakash Sarma has said that the internal issues were discussed with priority at the meeting, adding that the issues were only not made public. Now, there is nothing girls cannot do. This cannot be more true in the case of ending child marriage in Rupandehi. A group of girls from Rupandehi has achieved what national and international non-governmental organizations even struggle to do in ending child marriage.
Celebrated her 13th birthday. As soon as she turned 13, her parents started to plan for her wedding. She begged her parents not to get her married off. However, her parents did not listen to her pleas. It was only after Khushbu threatened to file a case that the proposed marriage was halted.
पिटाई पनि खाएको म पढ्छु भनेर उनीहरुसँग प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा कुराकानी गरे। अहिले के भनेछन् 4 महिना गएपछि बिहे गर्न। तर मैले भने जबसम्म म आफ्नो खुट्टामा उभिदैन तबसम्म म बिहे गर्दै गर्दैन। अनि मलाई नै हेरेर मेरो गाउँ समाजको किशोरहरू पनि मेरो साथ दिन तयार भएछन्।
Many girl children of Tarai are deprived of their rights to study, play and learn due to the practice of early marriage. Parents plan for their daughters' marriage as soon as they reach adolescence. However, girls from 3 rural municipalities and 1 municipality of Rupandehi have been coming together to end their child marriage on their own. Since the past 4 years, the girls have been launching what they call It's My Turn campaign to end child marriage. Since the start of the campaign, they have been able to stop 220 child marriages. More than 2,000 girls have come together for the campaign so far.
सानोमा बिहा गर्यो भनेदेखि पुण्य कमाइन्छ ठुलो भइसकेपछि लगानी धेरै गर्नुपर्छ जति धेरै शिक्षामा लगानी गर्यो जति धेरै पढ्यो उति धेरै दाइजो दिनुपर्छ भन्ने परम्पराले गर्दा सानै उमेरमा बिहा भइरहेछ
The legal age for marriage in Nepal is 20 years. Early marriage deprives children to enjoy their childhood. When girls attain motherhood at a young age, their bodies weaken, putting at risk the health condition of both the mother and the child. Early marriage also increases domestic violence and dependency. However, in the name of religion and culture, some ethnic groups from western parts of Rupandehi still practice early marriage.
Time now for the international update. Heavy rains from Hurricane Durian are battering the coast of South and North Carolina after causing destruction and at least 20 deaths in the Bahamas. The Category 2 storm is moving slowly north along the eastern U.S. seaboard. Thousands of homes are without power. Forecasters warn that some areas could see dangerous storm surges as well. But two high tides have come and gone in Charleston, South Carolina, and Durian is expected to weaken slowly over the next few days. It currently has maximum sustained winds of 165 kilometers per hour, down from 180 kilometers per hour earlier in the day. On 1st of September, it hit the Bahamas with winds of up to 290 kilometers per hour, equaling the highest ever recorded at landfall. It battered the Abaco Islands and Grand Bahama in the north of the archipelago for 2 days. And with that, we have more news coming up, but right now it's time for yet another short break. The number of complaints against fraud in the name of foreign employment is on the rise. In this context, we had asked the residents of Rupandehi what could be done to stop such activities in future. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
बुझेर तालिम प्राप्त भएर एकदम सिप सिकेर गयो भने त्यहाँ भाषाहरुमा हरेक कुरा परिपक्व गरेर गइसकेपछि कुनै जोखिममा पर्दैन
त्यहाँबाट ल्याएको आफ्नो पारिश्रमिक र आफ्नो सिपलाई चाहिँ यहाँ व्यवस्थित तरिकाले सञ्चालन गर्न सकियो भने चाहिँ त्यो सिप सधैँका लागि सदुपयोग हुने
स्वदेश भित्र चाहिँ रोजगारको सिर्जना गर्ने उद्योग धन्दा कलकारखानाको विकास गर्ने नीति चाहिँ पोलिसी चाहिँ सरकारले बनाउनु पर्छ
विदेश पठाउँदा ठग्नी दलाललाई कडा भन्दा कडा कारबाही गर्नुपर्छ सरकारले
विदेशबाट आएका व्यक्तिहरु हुनुहुन्छ उनीहरुको एउटा संगठन बनाएर त्यो संगठित व्यक्तिबाट हाम्रा युवाहरुलाई ज्ञानहरु दिएर नेपालमै रोजगारी सिर्जना गर्नुपर्छ विदेश पठाउनै हुन्न भन्छु म त
दक्षता बिना कुनै पनि नागरिकलाई विदेश जानबाट रोक्नु पर्यो
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what could be the reason for foreign dependence, even for procurement of small agriculture equipment? Your options are A, no entrepreneurship approach, B, use to foreign dependence, and C, policy level lapses. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
Nepal has faced a 7-0 humiliating defeat against home team Kuwait in their first match at the second round of the World Cup qualifiers. Hosts Kuwait maintained their dominance throughout the match played at the Jaber Al Ahmad International Stadium last night. Nepal conceded 2 goals in the first half within a span of 10 minutes. Yusuf Najir scored in the 6th minute, with Fahad Al-Hazari adding the second goal in the 13th minute. Nepal played a more defensive game in the second half. However, Kuwait further tightened their control, adding 5 more goals. The goals were scored in the 50th, 59th and 67th, while 2 goals were scored in injury time. Nepal will play their second match under the qualifiers against Chinese Taipei on 9th of September. Now, Nepal will play against host Sri Lanka at the ACC Under-19 Asia Cup tournament today. The match, which will be played at the Ranasinghe Premamdasa Stadium in Colombo, will start at 10:15 a.m. Nepal time. Nepal qualified for the Under-19 Asia Cup as champions of the ACC Eastern Region Championship. In the 2 matches that were played on the first day of the tournament yesterday, Afghanistan upset Pakistan by 85 runs, while defending champions India defeated Kuwait by 7 wickets. Now, before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. The evaluation committee formed by the central bank to monitor cyber attack on the banking system recommends mandatory inbuilt chips in ATM cards. Dengue outbreak spreads its wings. Dengue claims one more life in the capital. Minister for Agriculture and Livestock hospitalized after contracting the virus. The main opposition, Nepali Congress, endorses a 17-point proposal branding the government's 1.5-year stint as disappointing, but silent on intra-party dispute. And Team Nepal suffers a 7-0 humiliating loss against host Kuwait in the first match at the second round of the World Cup qualifiers. And that's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.